pointy chin kills me.
Okay, fuck you.
I know the classiest thing would be to downplay the effort that went into this role and how much this means to me, but the truth is I'm really in pursuit of greatness. I know people don't usually talk like that, but I want to be one of the greats. I'm inspired by the greats. I'm inspired by the greats here tonight.
Things are very different right now. I mean, before, you'd make a film 6 or 7 months later, it would show up on the movie channels. Now, it's like it plays in the theater 40 days, and then all the streaming channels get it simultaneously. Well, that's not the industry I signed up for. That's television. That's just television.
Welcome back into Full Screen Podcast. I'm your host, Kira, and joining me today, as always, wearing thick, shapeless socks, blasting some sweet tunes by Smoke Cheddar, the Asketta.
Yeet, yeet, skrrt, yeet, yeet, skrrt.
It's Raven, baby! How goes it, Raven?
Is this the character that was presenting the history of rap on those SNL skits with Timothee Chalamet and Pete Davidson? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, because I really thought his name was something like Little Perp or something. Little Perp would be a great
TikTok rapper.
Yeah.
Yes.
SoundCloud rapper. Absolutely. I'm feeling good. You might even say it makes me feel supreme. I'm in the mood to peck over the carcass of culture. A culture vulture, you might call me. And what a day to talk about vultures, because the topic of our conversation today is two pointy-cheeked, beak-faced bastards pecking over the carcass of Black culture to appropriate for their own profit and monetization, the likes of which we have not seen since Elvis Presley and possibly Eminem.
The pointy chin kills me.
The proud tradition of white men coming in and taking stuff that they find cool from Black culture and making it their own. I think that we have really reached a boss fight between generations. I really believe that we are a Pikachu Raichu discussion. All right? Honestly, it's a Pikachu Pikachu.
So listen, without further delay, let's get into it. So today we're continuing our face-off series. Last time we did, what did we do last time?
Oh my God, did you black out?
Yeah, Studio Murder Showdown. Studio Murder Showdown. Netflix versus Amazon Prime. And today we're doing Film Bro versus Film Bro. Timothee Chalamet versus Quentin Tarantino. We are going to argue which film bro is the most toxic to cinema, movie, and culture in general. And Raven is going to argue that Quentin remains relevant and the most toxic, and I'm going to argue in 2026, it's Timothée. It's always Timothée. Let's go. Let's get started. So we actually divided into 5 categories. We're going to start with most gatekeeping behavior. Then second category is my favorite, greatest cultural impact, film bros, Reddit essays, film Twitter, culture in general. Number 3, most problematic statement. Number 4, how annoying their fans are. And last, number 5, disdain for streaming, tech-led movie culture, TV, modern media, what have you. Anything to add, Raven, before we dive into it?
I think that we're really going to be seeing the same statement from different generations. It's literally like when you look at people who speak very similar languages to each other, say the same word, and you're like, oh, I kind of see the root in both of them. It's like very similar. We're going to be seeing some of that here.
So if someone can actually replace Fiona Apple from that clip with Quentin Tarantino, where she's looking visibly annoyed every second that he's talking, that words are coming out of his mouth, and replace her with Timothée Chalamet, you know what I mean?
I don't know if these little hills over here are going to be so attractive, but I don't know if I want to, like, start that expedition all over again either. That was a big motherfucking thing. Well, I met Francis Coppola's wife, Kelly Coppola, And she asked me a question, so what are you doing next? I go, well, I've been planning this big World War II film for a long time, and now it's time to do it. I'm doing Death Proof in between, but the next thing I'll do is this World War II movie. The only thing about it is, it's a big Mount Everest kind of epic, and I've already climbed a Mount Everest, and you know, I gotta get myself up to climb it again. And then when I was through talking, she goes, I think maybe this is the time in your life to climb Mount Everest.
Like he's getting more energized, like yeah, bro.
He's getting activated, yeah. It's like him from those first couple of interviews for Dune Part 1, where he was so excited to talk about how he is to become the prophet, and Zendaya's like, it's a movie, chill. You're not really anyone's savior.
Okay, let's dive into it. Let's start. Most gatekeeping behavior. And I'm going to start with Timothee Chalamet. So listen, it's tough for me to argue that he's become this toxic, but man's all vibes. Like he used to be man's all vibes and the wrong vibes, let me say. I feel like he gatekeeps through aura, Raven, and not through what he's gained or learned or knows, which in your case, I think can sometimes be earned. And can be earned elitism, right? You can gatekeep, but then you're like, okay, this guy knows his shit. Timothée, barely 30. 3 weeks ago, he turned 30. Okay, you're not there yet. He's just gatekeeping through vibes. His strengths, Raven used to be sensitivity, being a soft boy auteur whose hair you want to touch, and he looked down in interviews, all just shy and approachable, quietly talking about his craft on French TV, French talk shows, blue-eyed, gentle, pointy face, risque cool style, didn't talk much. Lisan Al-Gaib, baby, Lisan Al-Gaib. And now he's turned into this like hardened buzzcut, like in-your-face aggressive persona, Riz Ahmed in The Night Of. That little like change from like episode to episode.
He went to prison in New York. Oh my God.
I am Paul Muad'Dib Atreides, Duke of Arrakis. Erudit Dina Heshidani, Nelisan Al-Gaib, Rui Dimenaruk, Ashidi, Nelisan Al-Gaib.
Toxic earnestness, crazy fragility, a weird bend towards destiny-coded ambition. He's chasing greatness. Remember when he was this was last year, I think, promoting A Complete Unknown, before I think he was filming Marty Supreme at that time, and he was all like college ball, like elite knowledge of college ball, and I'm like, who is this?
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Who have you become? I'm going Jackson State 8 wins in a row? That was the day everything changed. A clear dividing line, and we can never go back. What happened to my boy from Don't Look Up? Remember that scene where he's in the back of a car and goes, Dr. Mindy, can I be vulnerable in your car? I'm also going to say it. I'm going to say it so famously and unabashedly pussy crazed for that influencer surgically altered baddie look. So I'm just saying, like, open the gate up all the way, man. You ain't special, Manhattan boy.
I actually am coming to you from the counterpoint that maybe we do need a little gatekeeping, because what my problem with Tarantino has been that he has empowered a lot of people to talk like they're fucking Roger Ebert and Leonard Maltin when they don't know what the fuck is going on. There is a very profound tweet that I reference all the time, and it says, guy who has only seen Boss Baby says this movie is giving me Boss Baby vibes. And that is the Tarantino film bro idiot, where I feel like they watch the 70s movies that Tarantino has. I'll be generous and say he hasn't stolen from, but is paying homage to, and say like, wow, this is like Tarantino. And I'm like, yes. People jumped into a Tenet machine and went back to make movies in the 70s that look like Tarantino. You're a fucking moron. Like, this is the film equivalent of someone saying Daft Punk took from Kanye West. I feel like we need to bring a little bit of gatekeeping and a little bit of qualification looking at. I'm just saying we have qualifications for people who are estheticians and plumbers and contractors that work on buildings. We should have one for film as well, because they have the power to impact people's opinions and shape the cultural zeitgeist, and that liberty should not be given to asswipes like Quentin Tarantino and Sean Baker without a little bit of due diligence. Tarantino opened up the floodgates to say everyone is a critic, everyone is a filmmaker, and everybody's opinion matters equally, regardless of how well you think about it or how well you present it. And I'm not saying that we need to impose elitism. I'm saying if you want your opinion to matter, you need to take the time to polish it, craft it into something that can be shared with other people. And I'm not just talking about your opinion on a movie. I mean, like, even if you have a story to tell, do not shit it out into the world and say, it's my art, deal with it, I'm avant-garde. Like, no, there's purposeful storytelling and you either are a part of it or not. And I think that Tarantino actually took away gatekeeping. Like, any asshole can come in and start formulating cinema, and I have a fucking problem with that.
Are you saying he opened the doors for people like Timothee Chalamet?
100%. I don't even think he opened the doors for 2015 Timothée Chalamet. I think he opened the doors for 2025 Timothée Chalamet. I'm talking about people who go on Letterboxd and specifically look at movies that are catered to a specific audience and shit on it for that reason. And I'm done with film bro critique in the first place, but it is absolutely the progeny of Quentin Tarantino. Let's just say that internet culture obviously collided in the same time as Quentin Tarantino getting on late night talk shows and just talking about video nasties that he used to watch from behind the beaded curtain in the VHS stores. But I feel like he has perpetuated that type of personality where the consumption of media is your personality. And I don't know, there's a line to be drawn between what we call the Marvel bros and people just like going about the dying of like art because they've completely entangled themselves with the media that they consume. This is a very millennial problem, I understand, but he's affected millennials the most.
Before we move on to the next category, I just want to say, like, this is a relevant story. He's made me, against the will of every cell in my body, at a crowded restaurant with close friends who were insulting him. I spent 15 minutes defending him. And then I vomited after and said 15 Hail Marys, so it was fine. But this is where I find myself.
I'm sorry you had to go through that, and I'm mad at your friends for putting you in that position, and I'm sorry to this restaurant as well for just having the vibes ruined with a Tarantino conversation. I'm just saying he elevated gatekeeping to a completely different form because he said, I know more about movies because I watch movies more than you. It's not that I watch them more thoughtfully or I study them or I can tell you what I appreciate about them. It's I've put up the numbers and I know more about movies than you. And this is why I get to say this is good, this is bad. And a direct line can be drawn from that to a lot of the worst aspects of online film culture from him. I don't have enough time to articulate that, unfortunately, but
knowledge gatekeeping versus aura gatekeeping. Basically, it boils down to, shall we move on? Greatest cultural impact on film bros, Reddit essays, film Twitter, just pop culture at large. Starting with Timothée Chalamet, man, is a symbol in 2026 after Wonka and Dune, Complete Unknown, Call Me By Your Name, and fucking Marty Supreme. So many memes, so many TikTok edits, Nardwuar interview, rolling on the floor, not recalling Mrs. Davis from kindergarten. Do you remember that clip where he's like,
Mrs. Davis certainly does.
Now seeing Timothée Chalamet is your favorite actor in 2026, I feel like saying that is equivalent to 2-3 years ago, you defending and having stickers for A24, you saying like, I'm an A24 truther, bro, like A24 forever. What neon, you know? Lionsgate? What Lionsgate? It was all about A24.
No, fuck Lionsgate.
Can you even be a film bro without mentioning Timmy in your introduction? You know what I mean? I feel like that's any list, any like movie podcast, any like film bro that you're talking to, it's like, dude, Timothy's filmography, he's following Leonardo DiCaprio's path. Like, he's it. He's Catch Me If You Can Leonardo DiCaprio era. Pausing there, I will say his greatest impact is, and I think for forever will remain, Club Chalamet. We're not going to, you know. God bless. God bless. Club Chalamet and how much it's given us and culture and how much it's made people who don't care about movies go see movies. Ugh. So thankful for Club Chalamet. Your turn.
I want to thank my co-stars, Leo, Margot Robbie's feet, Margaret Qualley's feet, Dakota Fanning's feet. Seriously, Quentin has separated more women from their shoes than the TSA.
Yeah, I guess like middle-aged women aren't whipping themselves up into a frothing frenzy over Tarantino. This is kind of an earnest part of the debate, but I think that Tarantino's greatest contribution, I couldn't decide, so I'm saying them both. One is that he's kind of made it a thing to revive the careers of often overlooked people in the industry. Some with due, some without. Like, there was no reason, for example, for a lot of the performers that he's had over his movies that didn't have big careers. For me, that like I never heard of Pam Grier before. I didn't watch any of the blaxploitation films that she was ever in, and I do have to thank the movie Jackie Brown for introducing me to that. She's a wonderful actress in that movie, but I can see how it's a completely different role from the stuff that she used to do, and I love that Tarantino has given overlooked performers that kind of aspect. I also think he's the only director that's been able to get good stuff out of Christoph Waltz. Like, that's crazy.
2-time Oscar winner.
I know, for a very, very different role. And
Opposite.
I think that's kind of like his greatest contribution is that he's become like a performer's director. It's about the performance in there. No one's going to watch a Tarantino movie for the plot or anything like that. It's about seeing an actor really perform, and he gives everybody the time to shine. There really are no small parts in his movies. He kind of loves giving that time and effort to smaller characters. He's just that type of film enjoyer, and so he makes movies that way.
Like how much he highlighted Margot Robbie and her talent in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I think those are just average Australian feet. Let's fucking go. I think that his genuine contribution, though, he does have, it's a very, very big cast in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and everybody has a chance to have a line or have a moment. I compare it to Oppenheimer, where random people are in it and they're just talking, and it's like, hold on, was that Roderick from Diary of a Wimpy Kid talking about quantum physics? What the fuck am I doing here? And then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where things are a little bit more performance focused. So I do like that. I like that he gives everybody their time to shine. And the other thing, the film bro thing that I like that he does is he kind of revived the needle drop. The usage of a song for its particular meaning, either to directly complement it or to stand as a contrast. Like, I think about the fight in the snow in Kill Bill with Uma Thurman and Lucy Liu, and he used a cover of Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood. It's a complete contrast. It doesn't go with the thematic setting, but he ends it with The Flower of Carnage, which is a Japanese song, which fits the setting, but he starts the fight with a disco, like, salsa cover of Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood. I thought, that's clever. Once you realize that that's the song that's playing, it's cool. It makes sense with the lyrics and stuff. And I've seen more and more filmmakers use it. I feel like James Gunn is kind of the new Quentin in that way. He loves using a needle drop to make the point.
Should he be happy about that comparison or be like...
No, I'm just saying from a
What do you
needle
think?
drop perspective.
I'm really sad that you haven't argued that his greatest cultural impact is the use of feet.
Because I don't think anyone else is doing it. I think that's his reputation, and I think we can
You
kind of...
shut your mouth.
I
Just
don't-
feet in your face.
I really don't think that podiatry enthusiasts have been emboldened by him. I certainly haven't seen other people talk about it.
So he's a fearless man who shows us who he is deep inside.
Yeah, he's a
Just
pervert,
with-
and he's just not afraid who knows it. Yeah, I got you.
All right, number 3. We're going to move on to category 3, most problematic statement.
You can just
Again,
censor me right here.
This
Can
is a
we
tough
just say I'm the
category
winner
because-
here? Can we just... Yeah, okay.
Timothée has only had barely 30 years to live, so he's working his way up to saying some problematic shit. However, I will use the example of recent award win at the Golden Globes, where he won for the musical comedy category for Marty Supreme, over Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another. Again, musical and comedy. Category fraud is strong. Wagner Moura won for drama category, I believe, for The Secret Agent. So he said during his award speech, he said, quote, "Thank you to my partner of 3 years. Thank you for our foundation," end quote. This confused some people, namely Amanda Seyfried. She said in a Pop Crave article on Instagram, commented, "Oh, not like a foundation / charity. I was curious," parentheses, confused about that. So his foundation is not giving back. His foundation is being with a Kardashian for 3 years and talking about her at every award show and wearing orange with her. Anyway, that's all we got for Timothée, who's barely 30 years old.
I want to please my fans, and I want to please the critics that are my fans. The critics hate my fans. I don't give a damn. Now, I'm not that computer savvy, so if he'd have sent me something that I plug into my computer, I don't know if I would have ever heard it. All right, hey, download this. I don't know how to do that.
He likes saying the N-word. Next topic.
Yeah.
He wants to talk about writing the N-word in his script, which I'm like, that's fine, but you cannot act, stop acting, and stop using your acting to say the N-word on screen. You are from Tennessee. Do not act like you are above racial politics.
He's got a thing.
And you're a bad actor too, Mr. Tarantino. Next.
Number 4 category, how annoying their fans are. For Timothée, we're talking about relevant topical information. So after Paul Atreides, the religious symbol vibes are really strong with The Chosen One. By which I mean Harry Potter. Sorry. By which I mean Will Byers. Sorry. By which I mean Timothée Chalamet. How often do we see this kind of fan following, this spiritually attached, emotionally invested, and willing to psychoanalyze your soul for criticism, staring daggers at who you're dating? Club Chalamet. The greatest gift, as I argue, given to us is Club Chalamet's profile on Wall Street Journal. There's so many tweets that entertain me, that give me life from Club Chalamet. Well, so many comments in general, but her Twitter is a goldmine. And one that I love is from last year, I believe, and there's a photo that she posted of Timothée and Kylie Jenner, his partner of 3 years, who provides him a strong foundation. And he thanked their foundation. Again, not a charity or...
It's the Timothée and Kylie Foundation.
Yeah. She tweeted, although Timothée didn't win the Golden Globe for Wonka 2 years ago, that he deserved to win, it was great seeing him attend the event as a nominee. The elephant in the room is obvious. Him sitting with Kylie, holding her hand. But all I want to say is that Club Chalamet remains devoted to supporting Timmy and his career. So that's one of the examples of tweets that highlight the problematic behavior of his fans and just the devotion he inspires. Raven, outside of Swifties and the Beehive, honestly unheard of. Like, outside of K-pop, I haven't seen this kind of fan behavior with modern actors. This kind of entertaining / annoying fan behavior.
Yeah, I think it's very possessive about his personal life. which is weird and unpleasant, I imagine, for Timothée. Like, let's be fair, like to anyone having their personal life scrutinized for their partner being worthy of their love and time. It's like, nobody wants that. I think the Tarantino fan base genuinely doesn't care about him as a person, which is really fucking funny.
This is me defending him in a restaurant with my family and friends.
I remember when Tina Fey and Amy Poehler made jokes about Tarantino being the star of their sexual nightmares. A lot of Tarantino fanboys were like, how dare they? That's so hurtful. And I'm like, if he didn't look like a rapist, that joke would have actually been funnier. Because, like, why would a handsome man, you know, be the star of your sexual nightmares? But yeah, he also just makes a lot of women uncomfortable. Treatment of Uma Thurman on the set of Kill Bill has been made public, and the constant feet ogling. We get it. Women don't want to fuck him. Men don't want to fuck him either. I think his fan base is more about talking about cinema and film, and I think that lens is a lot more harmful for cinema overall. I wouldn't say acquiescence, but like the marketing, the direction of films, I think because of test screenings and stuff like that, if it's catering to a specific type of Tarantino film, bro, everything becomes the same, homogenized, and I feel like that is more damaging to the culture overall than just Club Chalamet talking about how he shouldn't date someone who is low class, like Kylie Jenner or whatever. I'm like,
listen, talking about annoying fans, though, we've all made mistakes in our lives. We've all made romantic mistakes in our lives. I've dated 2 film bros, not recently. One owned, written and directed by Quentin Tarantino shirt, and one, of course, as millennials do, had many posters of Quentin Tarantino movies on the wall. Pulp Fiction being a
you're
big
making
one.
my point.
And, well, both of those relationships didn't last long, but anyway, that was the first time I'd seen the shirt of written and directed by Quentin Tarantino. Since then, I've seen, like, stickers and the memes about that, but I think I made your point.
You've made my point. I think the parasocialness in Quentin Tarantino's case, it's about a regular guy who didn't go to an elite film school, had no connections, made his way up through independent cinema, and is now considered to be a tastemaker. I can do the same. But instead of cultivating your taste, you're just trying to repeat what he did, and not what he did by taking inspiration from the past and regurgitating it. You're literally taking his past and regurgitating it. Like, you don't have your own thing. Whatever he gloms onto because he likes it, people will just suddenly start being like, yes, this is cinema. This is how it's done. This is how it's supposed to be. I personally blame Tarantino for the drop in quality of the films of Edgar Wright, because as soon as he said, I love Edgar Wright, all his films have been like okay to mid to I hated Running Man bad. It's genuinely feel like it's because all these people come by, they find that fixation, they make it their entire personality, and then they ruin films. You will never find anybody doing a Club Tarantino.
We need a Club Chalamet. You know what I mean? We need a club to talk about Club Chalamet. We're going to move on to the last category. So disdain for streaming, TV, and modern media. Okay, starting with Timothée. Man hates TV. He thinks he's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yep, Miss Law M, Miss Law M, Miss Law M, Miss Law M. Look at me, it's Timothée, about to hit him with the ZTST.
Homeland star Timothee Chalamet on Theo Von podcast to promote Complete Unknown. It's a long quote, so I'm gonna skip
you've
around.
already lost me. He went on Theo Von to promote his Sam Dylan biopic. Like,
he's changed. He went from like French TV, cute little talk shows, and now he's going on ESPN, talking college ball. He's going to Theo Von. Nardwar, we respect. So good on him and his strategy. Let's not forget the Timothee Chalamet lookalike contest, which I wish was in my bedroom, but it wasn't. Quote on Theo Von.
This little misconception about actors too and acting. You can have a cushy job on a TV show. If you don't give a f about your work, it could be a great lifestyle, right? You're making like high 6 figures, maybe low 7 figures, and you're just showing up when you want. If you give a f about what you're doing, these are long days.
Wow.
You know what I mean? These are 14-hour days, 6 days a week sometimes. 3 months. People got it way harder. But I want to feel that grit, I want to feel it. I hope people don't laugh at it after.
No, you respect what you do.
Yeah, because you got to. What else is the point? I talk about this with friends a lot. Like, this is too weird a lifestyle to be
nonchalant about.
Yeah, why do this if you're not going to go as hard as possible?
That bitch tripping. I love you, Timothée, but
Yeah,
you gotta
wow.
stay soft.
No, he's
insulting TV actors, calling himself the greatest actor alive, basically, and the hardest working man.
He's a fucking tool because it's painting everything with a broad brushstroke. Like, not everything is Stranger Things. Like, I get it. That's what you're getting ass and smoking cheddar or whatever for. But, like, I get that you're trying to say that there's a lot of spectacle and bullshit now on TV. But let's not fucking pretend that that's not there on film. We all know that nonsense cash grabs are very much a part of the film process because it has a theatrical release. I think Chalamet takes the cake on this one because honestly, Quentin's whole input on this has very much been under the worst person I know makes a good point, which is that the theatrical windows have become very small due to streaming, and so there's not enough time for people to go see a movie and make money by distributing theatrically. He respects television. He casts a lot of television stars in his movies and stuff. He references it in text. Like, I feel like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, for example, made the case that television acting was hard work and an avenue for great performances. Like, he put that in the text of the fucking movie. So he clearly respects art in all its different media avenues, and performances can be appreciated regardless.
He appreciates storytelling and the art form regardless of the medium. Yeah. He said some king shit, man.
He has. I guess this is like kind of both between his gatekeeping and his disdain for streaming, but he hates what Star Trek has become. Fucking same, my guy. I think him because it looks less like the 60s, and for me, I'm like, it's gone away from the vision of the future that Gene Roddenberry has. It doesn't feel like Star Trek, but regardless, we reach the same conclusion from different perspectives, and he was rumored for being like directing a Star Trek movie, and he said, I don't want fuck all to do with this fuck ass universe. The streaming model, and he's talking about the TV shows that have come out, they're all awful. Lower Decks is okay, but the rest are awful. And he says, I don't like what they've become, and the streaming model has made it so that you are trying to make these stories that don't evolve with the audience. You don't have time to see what audiences respond to, and they take so long to put together audience interest
100%.
wanes.
Yeah.
He nailed all of it, and I can't really disagree with anything because I think he is also the type of person that enjoys television. He likes serialized storytelling. He appreciates that, and he says streaming has ruined that too.
Yeah.
I agree with him. I don't think he has said anything that's particularly wrong. He has said that it's made it difficult for independent cinema to really gain a foothold. I appreciated the fact that he went up against Disney to get screens for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when I think Thor Ragnarok was playing, and they were like trying to get more screens, and he said, nah, bitch, I need the full 70 millimeters. Like, fuck out of here. And he's the only director that can like pull that type of stunt.
You know what you're doing right now? You're bringing my Quentin love back, and I'm so excited about his last movie.
I don't think he's gonna make it. He's really scared. He's scared of Game of Thronesing it, like...
Yeah, which is a good fear. All right, let's end there. And I had fun arguing this, and I think Timothée takes the cake in 2026, baby. What should we do face off for next time? What are we thinking?
I mean, there's so many things that I think I want to explore. I think we've talked a little bit too much about dudes. I'm like a little sick of it. I know that we were talking about Netflix versus Amazon, but really we know it was like
dude versus
dudes. And I think I want to come in with looking at the careers of women in Hollywood a little bit more. And I think that one conversation that we haven't had, and it's kind of related to this one, is who is our next pick for the white actress that we love and support. Because I've been looking for one. I would say like Kirsten Dunst is always floating up there for me at the number 2 spot.
It's Sydney Sweeney.
My number one, okay, fuck you.
Okay,
my
let's
number one
end.
used to be Amy Adams, and I'm looking for a new one to really fucking let me down.
That's a good topic. But we're going to end there. Until next time, full screeners. Bye.